There's a song that recently a friend introduced to me by Carrie Joby. And I want to play that before I minister this. I believe that I want you to hear this before I say this. It talks about, I know that you're for me. That's the name of it. And one of the things I teach in this face-to-face relationship is that worship and music has a big part to play in. Um, it has a big part to play in your prayer time. I believe worship breaks your heart and it ministers to your heart to be receptive to the Lord and to be sensitive to Him. Worship has helped me from the beginning, and I want to play this in just a moment. But the song is talking about basically how I know that you are for me. You will never forsake me in my weaknesses. And this is the Jesus I met. I want you to learn. Listen to this. Y'all play that for me. Turn that up real loud. Turn it up louder, Ron. Just listen to this. It's so beautiful.
So faithful,
That's right.
so constant, so loving and so true, so powerful in all you do. You feel me,
Yeah.
you see me,
You see me, Jesus.
you know my every move.
You are everything.
You love for me to sing to you.
Yes.
I know that you are for me. I know that you are for me. forsake me in my weaknesses. I know that you have come now,
Know that you've come
even if to ride upon my heart,
to remind me of who you really are.
to remind me who you
Wow. Hallelujah. Wow. Isn't that tremendous? So faithful. So constant. So merciful and true. I love the articulation. I know that you're for me. I know that you're for me. And I know that you will never forsake me in my weaknesses. This is what I've seen in the church. They forsake people when they see their weaknesses. I believe the greatest expression of love is to be able to separate people from their failures and still love them the same. I believe the greatest expression of love to the other person, not to you. You may not feel it, but they do. Is to love a person and to separate their failures and their weaknesses and their shortcomings and to treat them as if they never done it. They feel the love of God like that. The church have not learned this. The Bible says, and to know the love of Christ in Ephesians, which passeth knowledge. Any knowledge we get about someone's faults or weaknesses, we change. Christ isn't like that. I want you to think about yourself. How many times you failed him and he was still there? You know he still loved you. He never changed his mind about you. How many times have you changed your mind about an individual just because they fell below the standard of your morals or either God's morals? I will never leave you, he says, and never forsake you. But he says, a new commandment I give you, love ye one another as I have loved you. That's the Jesus I've met. That's how he is. He don't forsake people. He don't ever. In their greatest weaknesses, he never forsakes them. And I'm going to tell you, I went through a very dark time some years ago. And that's why I learned this part of it. That's why I learned that I had not mastered love. I learned that I had not fulfilled that commandment where he says, love you one another as I have loved you. I saw how judgmental I was. I saw how unmerciful I was. I thought I was merciful because I thought I was showing mercy to who I wanted to show mercy to. But then other people, in my mind, I would judge them and take that away from them. He says, until you become consistent, hear what she says, so constant. Till you become consistent all the way across the board with everybody like that. It ain't in you. It ain't true love. See, we deceive ourselves and think we're walking in true love because we do it with people who we choose to be merciful with. When it just becomes you, you do it anyway, no matter who it is. There's no choice involved because this is who you are. God don't have love. He don't walk in love. The Bible says he is love. He don't do it. He is it. It ain't about doing. It's about being it. So he began to tell me. He says, David, you've done it, but you ain't it. It's not a part of you. It's not you. I want love to be you. And love is not always expressed in petting and being kind. It's also expressed in correction and being firm. What I'm talking about is the mercy, the loving kindness of God.